Could you, what's the next step, do you think, for this defense? Where do you think this defense is? Where does it need to go?
We just had a conversation about that. Obviously, expectation level here is to be the best defense and best offense, best kicking game. We're not there yet. I think it's very close. I don't think we have the, you can't say that we have a couple units that just aren't personnel based. I think we have very good personnel. I think we have very good coaches. We just could have put one all together. Pass defense was outstanding last week, and we gave up too many yards rushing. So it's what's next is a complete game, a dominant performance, and we haven't had that yet.
Eli Apple last year was the young guy. Now he's the veteran. How has he progressed in that role? What would you want to say about that?
Good. I don't have all the stats with me and champion level performances, but I think he's, I don't think he's the best corner in college football, and that we expect him to be at some point. I think he works his tail off, and he's pretty good. But that was our whole message today, and that's where my mind is right now, is that the expectation level was to be the best corner in college football. He's not there yet, so what does he have to do to get better? And I think it's because he's got the skill set, and he's a good kid that works hard. So we just got to be more fundamentally sound and just give it everything he's got. And it's just typical 8-game into the season. Some teams take off, some players take off, and others don't. And the ones that do are the teams and the players that do become exceptional. And right now we're very good, but the next few weeks got to be exceptional.
Second row left, Ari. Urban.
Going back to that, just what made Steve Miller, Curtis Grant, Evan Spencer. Steve Miller is as good a defensive end as America last year at the end of the season. Think about that. Stevie Miller was one of the best defensive ends in college football. Why? And that's what I got our team thinking about that. Why? And that's a little bit, I just bring up Eli, very good player, but the next step.
Urban, in the world of recruiting, I think getting a quarterback is probably the toughest position, or arguably the toughest position to identify. But can you speak to just a pure elite defensive tackle? How hard are those to find? How imperative is it for you to have one? And how is that maybe the rarest position in terms of finding a truly elite guy?
Oh, that's probably the most premium. That and defensive end are the ones that, you say that in quarterback, corner. They're all elite positions, critical positions. But that's because so many times those guys are developed. The great defensive tackle where Mike Bennett, by the end of the season, he was playing as good as anybody. Adolphus Washington. We got Draymond Jones last year, was supposed to be that guy. Got injured. We have some guys in the program right now, Mike Hill, Donovan Munger, that were supposed to be there, and they're maybe a little bit slower developing than we thought. So to answer your question, that is as critical position as there is. You never turn down a good defense lineman. And they have to be developed.
When you're out there mapping out how you're going to go about getting these guys, when you see a premium defensive tackle or an elite one that I think is developed earlier, will you go to any extent, anywhere to go get that guy?
I think you know the answer to that, of course. Yeah, we'll go, go to any extent. We'll follow the rules and do the best we can to go get the best defensive tackle in America. And absolutely, that's a premium, like a quarterback. That's a premium position.
Front row middle, Dave.
You mentioned on the Big Ten teleconference yesterday that Cardale's still going to have a role in the offense. Can you expound on that? What do you anticipate his role will be?
Well, JT had a role in the offense.
Absolutely.
Even before he became the red zone. It's called quarterback. It's called leader. It's called encourager. It's whatever, all the above. So he will have a very prominent role. And if he plays, that's decision's not now to be discussed, but he has to stay engaged was the whole point.
It's safe to say this is not a two-quarterback system. This is JT's show.
Yeah. JT's starting the quarterback.
Front row right here. Austin? Urban, I know that for the most part you don't really care about outside opinions and projections of your team, what maybe the media thinks. But when you have all these conversations going on about what's wrong with Ohio State, it's probably hard to ignore those conversations. Do you feel like this team is being held to a higher standard than normal run-of-the-mill program?
Oh, sure. There's probably 10 programs in America that held an extremely high standard, and we're one of them. And you made the comment that those conversations I'm not part of. I'm part of really important ones in that how do we become the best defense, best offense, best special teams in America, and that's hard to do. You know, I think the way we finished a year ago was a perfect template. Hard to say there was a better defense, hard to say better offense and better kicking game, but that's, you know, that's Camelot. That's everybody's working to get there.
This is a similar, you know, topic with when these rankings come out, the playoff selection. That's another maybe distraction. But do you see a team right now out on the field, Saturdays out on the practice field, that is a playoff caliber team?
I have no idea. I think we have a very good football team, and I think we got to keep getting better and better and better, and that's all I can worry about.
Front row right. Tim?
Yeah, Urban, did Joshua Perry practice today?
He did. He did some stuff. You know, it was more like I used to call it the Shazier practice. When Shazier had some injuries, he was behind everybody and getting mental reps and all that. And tomorrow he's going to actually run around. So they've upgraded him to probable.
And as you watched video from last week, what did you see out of Booker? And obviously Cameron Williams can't play in the first half this week. Is he still? He was still going on the trip, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But what did you see? How valuable is the experience that especially Booker got? You understand?
Well, it's a game changer. I mean, that's a career-changing experience that you get right in them. And he played a little bit the week before and did very well. And he's got, you know, he's a young player still. Sophomore, a real sophomore, didn't redshirt, and a guy that has really good potential, works real hard at it. So.
And front row left, last question with Doug, please.
Urban, as the offense moves forward now, obviously the offense knows JT and JT knows the offense, and he's very experienced, but making just a switch with the starter at this point, is there anything that, like, is the offense behind it all? Is there anything that you know, having made a switch now, that they'll be held back at all, or do you think?
I don't think so. I think we played our best game Saturday. You know, we not necessarily throwing, but we made a decision. You do take, it was one of the best games the last 4 years against Penn State. So, you know, to score 38 points against that team, run for 350 yards, and I hear, what's wrong with the offense? That's one of those, like, what'd you just say? What's wrong with the offense? Offense is great. You know, we just have to be more consistent in the throw game, and then I guess what do you work on then? If you're throwing the ball much better and you run the ball like you did Saturday. The thing I'm looking for is consistency, which every school in the country is looking for that. We have not blocked people like that at a consistent level, and we have. So we have to, this is the same message the team just got. You're exceptional if you can do that each week, and we're not exceptional, but how many teams are there? So I see a very positive curve on both sides of the ball, and on kicking game, very positive.
In making the change at this point in the year, obviously when you decided to start Cardale, you want him to succeed, you think he'll succeed. Why do you think maybe it didn't work out maybe as well as you hoped it would when he won that job?
You know, I don't know that. I don't know that. I have my opinions, which I'm probably not going to share right now, but I just, you know, the kid's 10-0 as a starter. He just threw for 300 yards a couple games ago, and you know, once again, your average margin of victory, I think, is 21 points or something like that, and you won 20 straight games. I don't, you know, what's the problem? You know, why didn't things work out? I think they're working out okay. You know, I'm not panicking, and he's fine, and he's just got to get better and work on his game. And you know, when I hear a question over here, what's wrong with Ohio State? Why aren't things working out? Everything's fine. We're just trying to get a little better each week and win a game. Try to win number 8. That's all our focus is.
Coach, thank you very much.
Thanks.